Hello there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. That would be great. Put a comment in the comments underneath. That would be great, so that I know you're there. Facebook have changed the live stream feature, so I'm playing with a bit of new technology here. So it'd be great if you could just let me know you're there. So welcome. Hello, Vanessa. Bonjour. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. Just go and wait for a few people to join us. We had 37 people. Hello, Rachel. Hello. We had 37 people accept the invitation to join this live stream called Ready, Steady, Recovery. 3 crucial steps you can take now for a fast and effective recovery after the lockdown. So while we're waiting, just hello Sheila, just let me know where you're coming from, where you're calling in from or joining the call from. Hello Doreen, hi there. Just let me know where you are in the world. Just pop that in the comments and then I can welcome you to the call. There's a little bit of a delay, I think, when people type a comment, so we'll just have to wait for Facebook to catch up. So let me just close a couple of tabs down so that we've got maximum. Hello, Remy from Lisbon. Hello. Fantastic. We're such an international group. It's amazing how many countries are represented in the Bed and Breakfast Owners group. I think it's just fantastic that we can all learn from different perspectives and from different countries and how different people do different things. There's a tendency, to stick with what you know and people that you know, but when you expand your perspective a little bit, you can get new ideas, and what other people do in different countries is always interesting. All right, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to get started on Ready, Steady, Recovery. 3 crucial steps you can take now for a fast and effective recovery after the lockdown has finished. So I want to know a couple of things from you first. Quick poll. Thanks for your comments. Thank you. So I want to know where you are right now in the lockdown process. If you are 100% in lockdown and you're closed for the whole of 2020, if you're not planning to open at all in 2020 and you're just kind of written 2020 off, then put a 1 in the comments. It'd be great to know where you are. Just put a 1 in the comments if you're not planning to open for 2020. I know some people have decided just to write the whole season off, and that's okay. Just like to know where you're at. If you're still in lockdown, but you're preparing to open again this season, just as soon as you've got the go-ahead from your state or from your government, then put a 2 in the comments box so that we know where you are. We go here. All right. I can see the comments now. I can see the comments. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't see the comments just now. Sorry. All right. So if you're coming out of lockdown and you're cautiously taking a few bookings, put a 3 in the comments box. Cautiously taking a few bookings, put 3 in the comments box. And if you're ready, up and running again, and you're ready to welcome guests this season, you're confident and you feel like you can meet the needs of your guests this season, you're already open, then put a 4 in the comments box. Okay, so most people seem to be in the 2 area. So you're coming out of lockdown and cautiously, you're still in lockdown, but you're preparing to open again this season. So that's 1 if you're going to close for the whole of the season. 2, you're preparing to open again this season just as soon as you can. 3, you're already cautiously taking a few bookings. And 4, you're all set and ready to roll this season. Great, thank you. Thank you for that. So another question for you so that I know where you're at. How do we feel about the OTAs right now? Let me know in the comments. Number 1, but I want an A and put an A in the comments box. If you don't ever want to work with them again, you feel like you're really aggrieved, but you feel like you have no choice. You feel aggrieved after the way you've been treated is an A, but you feel like you have no choice. Give me A in the comments box. If you feel okay about working with them again, you're indifferent, doesn't matter, they're all part of the scene and they're all part of the strategy, then give me a B in the comments. Give me a B. And give me a C if you have a direct booking strategy in place for when you open up again. So that's A, you never want to work with them again. You feel aggrieved, you feel like they've let you down, but you feel like you have no choice. B is you feel okay about working with them again. It's just kind of what it is. And C, you're not going to work with them and you have a direct booking strategy in place. Okay, good. Great, thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for that feedback. All right, so this live stream is for you, where you're prepared to welcome guests at some point during this season, but you don't really want to work with the OTAs anymore. I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can take right now to not work with them over the long term. It won't happen overnight, but if you put these things in place, it will happen for you. First, the first step, okay? The first step that you can take now to ensure a fast and effective recovery is to have a really solid cleaning process in place, a really solid cleaning policy, and communicate that to your guests, because you need to put that all over your website, all over your social media, in your welcome email, your pre-arrival email, all of your emails, every way that you communicate with your guests. They need to know that you are working hard to protect them, keep them safe and protected when they're in your environment. Guests need to be reassured about that, because everybody's really worried about catching this virus. So if you want to have a speedy and safe recovery, you need to have a good, strong cleaning policy in place that is advertised all over your social media. That's what guests are going to be looking for, because there's going to be a lot of places that they won't trust right now. So I know that you had a really good cleaning policy in place before, but now you need to share it with your guests. You really, really need to share it with your guests. No one can guarantee anything, right? You can't guarantee to your guests that they're not going to catch anything, or they're not going to come with anything either. So you want to make sure that you're covering yourself here. So put a disclaimer in your cleaning policy as well, so that nobody can sue you or take you to court for anything that you're claiming. You're doing the best you can, but nobody can guarantee anything at all, ever. So what should your cleaning policy cover? Okay, so here's some guidelines that I've researched around the web, what people are talking about. Extra steps to disinfect surfaces. Put that in your cleaning policy. What are you doing to disinfect surfaces after people have used things? Sterilized linen. If you haven't already got a professional laundry service that you're using, now would be a really good time to research and get a professional laundry service in place, because they're the only people who can really sterilize your sheets and your linen. So sterilized linen is really, really a good policy to having in your cleaning policy, a really good thing to have in your cleaning policy. Minimizing human contact. I know this is going to be difficult for many of us, because running B&Bs, it's about human contact, right? It's about human interaction. But there are other ways that you can do it. You still need to be available for your guests. This would be a really good time to start using video to communicate with your guests for everything. So everything about your place, about the experience they can expect, about your cleaning policy would be a really good time to communicate on video. And if you're not used to communicating on video, then now would be a really good time to learn that skill, for sure. Because even though you have to minimize human contact and do the social distancing thing, guests really want to know that you're there for them, so that if anything happens and if anything goes wrong, you're going to be there to sort them out. They're all that they can rely on. Extra time between checkouts, so your rooms have time to release any unwanted bacteria. You might want to add an extra day or so in between the possible available dates. In-room breakfast could be a good idea if you're geared up for it Otherwise, stagger your breakfast times with lots of cleaning in between, so that guests feel like they're not being pushed in with people who, you know, they don't know. And, you know, trust is very low right now. People are afraid. So if you can do breakfast in room, that would be the best. But if you can't, then maybe think about staggering your breakfast time so that people are having breakfast on their own, if it's possible. Do what you can to do that. So that's some guidelines on the cleaning, the solid cleaning policy. You might want to put some signs up in your rooms as well, saying what you do, what your cleaning policy is. As I say, advertise it everywhere, because people are going to be looking for that when they book places to stay. So Elise is saying she disagrees. People are too tired of COVID, and they know that a place like mine will be okay. My clients want back their previous lives. No one is talking about disinfection. There's a lot of talk about disinfection, but I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it. I'm just giving you some guidelines. So take what you can use, Elise. You don't have to do it this way. Second, I mentioned this before, but communication with your guests right now and your followers on social media and through your database to stay top of mind. You've spent a lot of time, if you're already established, you've spent a lot of time building effort, taking effort, building emotional connection with your guests. And if there was ever a time to re-invoke that emotional connection, it's got to be now. Guests are going to be wary of where they choose to stay. So you want to be on their minds. You want to be in their, you know, in their thinking processes. You want to be there. So communication with your guests, past guests, and on social media with your followers is absolutely crucial right now. Now is the time to hide and pull back if you want to be in business again. Road trips and domestic travel could be the places that travel is going to start up again before international travel. So if you can segment your database and make an offer, not necessarily a discounted offer, but just an offer to those who live within driving distance, so they don't have to get on a public transport, you may find you have more success with that in the early stages. If all of your guests are international guests anyway, then check your normal flight carriers that bring guests to your destination, as some of them are offering free flights, like Sicily, for example. The island of Sicily off the coast of Italy is actually offering to pay for people's flights because they want the tourists to come back. So if you wanted to go to Sicily, this would be a really good time to go because they're paying for flights. So check that and use that as a way to, you know, tempt international travelers to come back, because the flight carriers will be having a really strong cleaning policy in place as well. So work with them. In fact, check all inbound flight carriers. If you welcome international guests and they come by air, then check all of the flight carriers that come into your city or your area and see what they're offering to get people to travel again internationally, because that's going to be a little bit harder, I think, than getting people to jump in the car and go away for the weekend. Or go away on holiday this year. That you might find that domestic travel is going to be more easy to attract, but check your international carriers and see what they're doing to attract people into flying. Be the one that your guests are turning to when they're ready to travel again. As I say, stay top of mind here. Make sure that they're thinking about you with regular communication, by email, on social media, using video wherever you can, communicating your policy, communicating what you're doing to protect them when they're safe, to keep them safe, what you're doing to make you the person to trust when this is all over, because trust is going to be very, very important if it wasn't already. And the third thing is take steps to move your business to a direct bookings business model. What does that mean? Well, here's what it doesn't mean. A direct bookings business is not a business that just has a button on their website saying book here, book direct, book direct. The book direct thing hasn't caught on with the public. No, there's a lot of talk in the industry about it, but there's not much talk around, you know, general forums with the public. They don't really care about booking direct unless you have a reason. They have a reason to do it, unless they have a reason to book direct with you. A button on your website saying book direct for cheapest rates just isn't going to do it, because it isn't about the money anymore. It's about trust and goodwill, being the person that your guests turn to so that you are top of mind when they want to travel again. A direct bookings business has you and the experience that you offer front and center on your website, on your social media. It has educational media content for your guests, past, present, and future, to consume, both written and on video. You'll see that I've mentioned video a lot so far, but I can't stress the importance of video enough, particularly during these difficult and changing times. A direct bookings business has a personality and it has a brand, and you are at the center of it in alignment with your values and the experience that you offer. It attracts guests that you want to welcome, not because of you making a delicious breakfast or indeed because of your cleaning policy, but because of the whole experience that you can offer that they simply can't get anywhere else. Charging the rates that you want to charge because it reflects the value that you bring. A direct bookings business is a unique experience for your guests that they simply can't get anywhere else. A direct business bookings owner has a different set of thinking patterns that is guest-centric without being overly pleasing or even sacrificial to the needs of guests. A direct bookings business owner commands respect from their guests because they stand in their value and they don't lead with their discounts or their cheap rates or best rate on guaranteed and all of that nonsense. We're over that now. A direct bookings business has tools to reward guests for booking directly, like the OTAs do. The OTAs are rewarding guests for booking with them, but not with discounts and cheap prices. Direct bookings business represents the local community and works with local businesses to add value to the guest experience and the local economy. A direct bookings business owner puts themselves as the hub of their local community, as the source of new money into the community, and stands in that value and adds value to the local economy by bringing new money into the local economy via the guests that they attract. That's the definition of a direct bookings business owner who knows that they are the hub of the community and acts accordingly. So tons of people right now are offering listings, free listings on free platforms right now. And I think we all know where that leads, don't we? You don't need another platform. You need tools and guidance to turn your business into a direct bookings business that doesn't rely on the OTAs. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to disappear. I don't believe they are. And from what I've seen from research that I've done, you know, they're going to be coming after a bigger piece of your pie if you work with them going forwards. They're going to be coming after your experiences and your add-ons and the things that you normally charge for when you welcome your guests. They're going to be coming after that as well, because, you know, don't forget that they've had a dip in business as well, massive dip in business. And so they'll be looking to claw that back in some way, and they'll be looking to you to help them to do that. So instead of just paying for the guest room, the 15, 20%, whatever it is you pay, they'll be inviting you to put some add-ons on their site, and, you know, they'll be taking even more of your pie. Please try and resist that if you can. That is not the way to go. You're just devaluing yourself even more. Airbnb are laying off 25% of their employees right now because, you know, they've taken a hit as well. Even though they've raised $2 billion, what they want to do is float on the stock exchange in an IPO and make a couple of $1 trillion for themselves. That's what they're focused on. They're not focused on the hosts. So don't be lured into their under their spell anymore, because they're not really interested in you as a host. They're interested in clawing back the money, because they have to, because they're owned by shareholders, and they're not owned by private people, not real people. So you need tools and guidance for a direct bookings business that you can control. So while the whole world is changing, and it's the best time for you to change yourself from how you've always done things to new ways of being and doing. So let me know if you have any questions on what I've just gone through, the 3 things that you can do now: a solid cleaning policy, massive communications with past guests and future guests through your website, through your email service provider, email marketing, and through your followers on social media, and transform yourself into a direct bookings business, so you're thinking differently in this new world. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me have a look at the comments to make sure I'm getting all these, because they're quite slow to come through. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the comments and read what you've put. Winifred, in Italy, we're waiting for government guidelines. Yes, a lot of people are. Yeah. Remy, which social media do you recommend the best? Remy, that depends on where your guests hang out. You have to know who your guests are before you can choose the social media platform that's right for you. So I recommend that you do a deep dive on what guests you want to welcome first, and then you can go and find them online, rather than trying to be all things to all people. That model's dead. Vanessa, new platform invites is driving. Yes, they're all over the place, aren't they? They're all over the place. You don't need another platform. You definitely don't need another platform. What you do need, though, are tools and guidance so that you can turn yourself into a direct bookings business. They're everywhere. I see them as well. You do not need another platform. A direct bookings business owner takes total responsibility for attracting their own guests. And whether you use the OTAs or not, that's fine. But it's part of a bigger strategy. It's not the only strategy. It's not the only game in town for the direct bookings business owner. So yes. Larry, thank you. So any other questions? So a strong solid cleaning policy, communication with past guests, future guests, present guests, whoever you've got in your network, in your orbit right now, and some tools and guidance to turn yourself into a direct bookings business. If that interests you, then I have something for you. Yes, Sheila, that is a problem, isn't it? But you can still get around that. You can definitely get around that. If your business guests are using a third-party booking agent, you can still work towards your own direct bookings business, even given that scenario. Remy, my question was about which social media is mostly used for travel searching. You want to think a little bit differently from that, Remy. Don't think about where can I go to get guests who are traveling. Your question is, where can I go to attract guests that I want to welcome, who would love the offering that I have, the experience that I offer. Turn it on its head. Turn it on its head and ask a different question, and then you'll be led to a different place where you can interact with the guests that you want to welcome, because they're coming to your area for the things that you can talk about and you can add value. It's a completely different way of thinking. The direct bookings business owner thinks differently. So we're taking on new people into our Book Directly Club. If you're not in the Book Directly Club, then you need to be in it. We have the tools and we have the guidance. It's not a platform. It is free at the moment. If you want to get in at the ground level, we've already got almost 70 people from around the world. So I'm going to put the link in here where you can join up. And you can get the tools and guidance to turn yourself into a direct bookings business by joining the Book Direct Club. It's not going to be free for much longer. I think we're going to end the free offer at the end of the month, at the end of May. So now is the time when everything's changing for you to change and turn yourself into a direct booking business with the tools and the guidance to do just that, while it's still free until the end of May. And then we're going to be moving into what we call recovery pricing, because people are starting to open up now. We've been busy creating videos and media content for our members to put them front and center of their businesses, and they're having a complete mindset shift around this. It's really cool. What about posting direct booking guests treated to a complimentary breakfast? Mary, I wouldn't, if that's part of your, I recommend you don't do that. To be honest with you, I recommend you don't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you give stuff away for free when it's going to cost you the same amount? It's the same as discounting. You don't need to do it, Mary. You don't need to do it. Are you in the Book Directly Club, Mary, yet? No? Come on down and we'll show you how it works. And you're going to love it, because I know your personality. You know, we know each other. You're going to love it in the Book Directly Club, because it doesn't involve you discounting or giving stuff away at all. But it does involve adding huge value to your guests that they're going to love you for. I'm very much not in favor of working for less money, basically. And that's basically what you're doing when you offer a discount, or you give stuff away when you don't need to. You're working for less money when you don't need to. Come and join the Book Directly Club, and we'll show you how to do this in a really, really cool and fun way that your guests are going to love. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. 3 crucial steps for a fast and effective recovery. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. Post your questions, and if you're watching this on the replay, then do hashtag replay so that I can come and answer your questions later at a later date. And tag me as well, so that I'll see your questions and your comments, and I'll come back and answer them later. Hope that was helpful for you. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.